After the customer panel, let's explain the supplier's menu. Go into Supplier. You will notice that the supplier's panel is similar to the customer's, so instead of selling items to a customer, we are acquiring items from a company or person. Click on Suppliers to create their profile. This is the list of all your suppliers. This is where we register their data. All the fields that have a red asterisk are mandatory. Their account ID, which is usually their TIN number, is optional. Register the supplier's phone number in the search key. In the supplier field, write down the name. You can also put in their VAT ID or VAT number. The credit limit is where you can limit the maximum amount of debt you will allow yourself to have from this supplier. We register it in the same way we did with the customer. This is where you can insert other information such as the contact information. Insert the first name, last name, email, phone number, second phone number and fax. Then insert the address information such as the first address, the second, the town or city, state or county, country and postcode. Go into the transaction if you want to know everything you bought from them, or know about any other transaction. In the notes section, write down any remark you want to keep in relation to each supplier. In the reminders section, you can specify the credit period. If you buy from your supplier every month, you choose 1 month for your credit period and then you save all changes to your supplier. Go back to the supplier panel and into supplier payment. The menu is the same as the customer payment menu. We start by selecting the supplier. You should then have their ticket information and balance. In order to make a ticket for the supplier, we have to go to the stock management menu, and when it is done, as shown in tutorial 7, it will appear here in this panel. In the supplier's menu, there is all their generated reports. Go into Supplier and click on Run Report. You will receive the supplier's information with their maximum and current debt. When you go into Products, you will be able to access a report of all the items you have bought from the suppliers, with their buy price and sell price. When you go into the Diary Reports, select the start date and end date to generate the report. It will show the supplier's name, the items purchased, sampled and returned. Everything related to the products and their suppliers are in the Diary Report. Go into the Sales menu. Each report has a modifiable start date and end date so that each owner can have their required results. Click on Run Report. You will have a detailed account of the sales of the items provided by each supplier. That way the owner can go through all their suppliers, one by one, and through comparison, find out whose items sell the most or the least. When you go into the list report, you will get a list of the suppliers. However, if you go into the list exports, you can print or save this list as XML, CSV, or any of the rest of the available formats, so that you can send it, double-check it or move it to another hardware. Lastly, there is the statement of account. It is very similar to the one made for the customers, but you have to select the supplier, like the default supplier, and then the start date. Let's go back a while, and then click on Filter. You will get a report with the purchases made from this supplier and their worth, while taking the balance into account, with the current credit which is -$10, the credit made from the items purchase and the reimbursement of that credit. The balance is at -$10 because there is a stock purchase of $10 followed by a return of the purchase, resulting in a $10 deficit. The credit limit is the maximum amount of debt possible. The current credit being at -$10 means we owe the supplier $10. The debit total and the credit total should be the same amount if there isn't any debt. The total balance is at the bottom right of the screen. We are done explaining the supplier's menu. We will now talk about the stock panel, which deals with everything related to our stock. All purchases and alterations will be made in the stock menu. First thing we have is the categories, which we create and are shown in the initial sales screen. Click on Categories. There is a list on the left of all the registered categories. When you select one of them, the name will be shown on the top of the panel. If the category is a subcategory, there is a selected category field. This means the category beer is within the category standard. You can change categories if you want. In order to create a new one, click on plus and name it Category 1. If it is the main category, then don't select one to place it in. We will be creating other categories to demonstrate how we place them within one another. Category 1 is the main category. Choose whether or not you want its name to be displayed. In the order field, you can rearrange the category order by specifying for each one their number in the order, which will affect how they appear in the sales screen. We can even add a photo for its appearance. Click on Save, and then on plus to create Category 2, then put it in Category 1 and click on Save. Click on plus again, create Category 3, put it in Category 2 and then click on Save. Leave the rest of the options at their default so that they would be in the catalog, which you can alter, and that their names would be displayed. If you go back to the home screen, choose any table to go into the sales menu. If you look at the top of the page, you will find the main categories. This is Category 1, which should contain the other categories. Click on it. Here is Category 2, and when you click on it you will have Category 3. If you open it, it is empty, but we can put products in it. We will now be placing the products within the categories. Go into Stock and then into Products. Within the Products panel, you will have a list with all your registered products. We can choose one and make changes to it. If you choose this one, then set its by price to $5, and then save, its price has changed. Choose another product. If you want to look for a particular product, click on the search button, choose where you want to look for the item. If it's either in the reference, barcode or name, remove the case-sensitive option, select Name in the Where field, and write down the 3 first letters from Brizola Carpaccio. Click OK. It will give you another item with Brizola, and every time you click on Search with the same initials, you will get a different item. If you want to select the item from a specific category, click on this area and choose the beverages and click on Refresh to get a list of the items that are in this category. If you want to create a new item, there are 2 ways to do so. First one, you use the product's barcode, and the second, if the product doesn't have a barcode, you have to create one, and make a reference to it. When you click on plus, if you scan the barcode, it will show and it will reference the barcode. If you write 1 2 3 4 as reference, the barcode will display the same number. If you want to generate a barcode, click on the icon next to it and it will automatically generate one. Every time you click on it, it will change the barcode. This is where you specify the type of barcode you want, such as EAN 13, EAN 8 and others. You should know these types, and know that there are a lot of other ones. Do your research and find out what they are and why we use one instead of the other. If you click next to the types, this will open multiple barcodes. For example, there is a shop who wants to price its juice bottles without splitting them. If a juice bottle of different tastes has the same pricing, it would be redundant to register every flavor, whether it's apple juice, orange juice or pineapple juice, if they have the same price. It is better if they put all their barcodes in the same registered item. This way, every time a barcode of any of the flavors of the bottle is run at the register, this item will show up because this item contains all of the barcodes, and this registry is the one that is linked to the stock record of all the items. Write the item's name in its field. The alias name is the one that is sent to the kitchen. If you have a restaurant who wishes to show the bill to their customers in English, but they have a chef who doesn't understand English, he understands Arabic or Italian or whatever other language, you can write every item in different languages and then click on Enable. That way the name that is written here will be printed for the chef to be able to read. In the category field, choose Category 3 because it is the last subcategory. We will explain the attributes later on. For now, what you need to know is that you have to select the attributes for each item you have, so that each time we select an item, we get its attributes. The tax category field is there if you have different types of taxes. We have 3 types of taxes already registered in the system. Each one can have a certain amount and percentage. The AUX count is for the auxiliary products. We will be talking about the auxiliary later on, but to summarize, the auxiliary is, for example, you have an ice cream cone that consists of 2 portions of either the same flavor or different ones. We specify them as auxiliary, so when they choose 2 portions, the system will stop them from choosing more if you check the mandatory box. The sell price means how much we are selling the item for, in this case it's $20. The buy price means how much we are buying the item for. Next to the sell price, you have the unit of measure, which we will talk about when we get to the inventory when we want to register the stock. It is where you choose between unit of measure, which is the one you use to buy the items, and unit of consumption, which is the one you use to sell them. For example, you buy an item in bags and sell it in grams. It has nothing to do with the waste. The waste is called yield and it shows up in the stock management. If you want to specify how much an item can be discounted, you write it in the minimum discount field. Since we're selling this item for $20, if we make a 50% discount, then the sell price would be equivalent to the buy price. This is why we specify that the minimum discount should get the sell price to $12. Choose the supplier of the item. The web price is the price of the item that is displayed with the QR code. When you're done filling the information, click on Save. If we want to see the item, go into the floor menu, click on a table, go into Category 1, then on Category 2, Category 3, and you will find the item. Click on it and you will have its price displayed. Go back to the Stock panel, then into Products. In order to choose the item we just created, click on Category 3, then refresh, and we get the item. Go into the Stock section, and enable Show if you want it to appear in the Sales menu. If you disable it, it will not appear. If you want an item to show up in all the categories registered, check the box next to In All Categories and then click on Save. The storage cost is the worth of the item's stock in the store. The Position in Category field exists for the sorting of the items in the category. The Product Size is for you to specify the amount of the item in the stock. Choose which printer the item will be sent to when it is sent to kitchen, as we've already explained. If you want to send it to one specific printer, choose it from here, but if you want to send it to more, click on More and choose the printers you need for the item, and it will be printed simultaneously. The display option is there if you have a kitchen display. Apart from this software, we have a kitchen display that is installed on a computer in the kitchen, so that when the orders are sent to the kitchen, instead of having them printed, they will show up on the computer screen. You can also choose to send it to either one display, or more. You can choose the memo date. If you click on Show Stock Levels, you will get a notification because this item was just created and doesn't have any stock. Like the service item, these are specifications you can add to the item. If the item has warranty, we click on it. If it is an auxiliary item, as we have just explained here in the AUX count, this is where we specify that it is auxiliary and link it to the item. Select Scale if the item can be measured and is registered on a scale. If you select the variable price option, then your item doesn't have a fixed price. Each time it is sold, it is priced differently. If the option is enabled, every time it is chosen, the system will notify you that it has a variable price. You need to choose it beforehand. So we have to choose the price before selecting the item, so the price would be displayed accurately. In the Image section, you can select an image that will show up with the item in the Sales menu. In the Button section, you choose how you want this item to appear. Enable Custom Button if you want it customized. You can change each item's background color and its text color. In the Ingredients section, you manage your item's ingredients. We will explain how to create them later on. This item uses these 2 ingredients. It uses 200 grams from one, and a kilogram from the other. For the 200 grams, write down 0.2 and click on plus, you will link it to the item. Every time it is sold, it will spend 200 grams from the stock of this ingredient. For the second item, register the 1 kilogram, click on plus to link to the item, and every time we sell this item, we spend 1 kilogram from this ingredient. The total cost calculates the price of the ingredients which we would have already set, with the quantity needed to make this item, in order to tell you how much this item costs to make. If you want it set as the items by price, click on Update, it will notify you that the price was $10 and that you're setting it to 11 cents. Click on OK. When you go to the General section, you will find that the price was changed to 11 cents. In the Purchases section, we can find all the times in which the item was sold. In the price level section, you will find all the items levels. In order to be able to manage the price levels, it needs to be enabled, so do the ingredients and the S.K.U. They won't appear in the item unless you go into the configurations and into the system section, and enable the maintain ingredients and maintain S.K.U. options. The S.K.U. option helps you manage the colors and size of an item. We will go into the details later on. Go into the More section, and into Price Levels. This is where you manage your price levels and specify how many you have in your system. For example, if you sell your items in batch or individually, the price of your item in batch is going to be different from the regular price. This is where you decide how many price level options you have, and then in the Products menu, you decide how much you're going to price your item for each level. You can choose a specific price level for the terminal you're using, or you can keep all levels as an option. Go back to the Stock menu, and into the Products panel. Look for and select the product we created. Go into Price Levels, and you will get the one created. Enable all the levels, and specify the price of each. The retail price is at $15, the test price is at $12, and the grow price is at $9. Click on Save to register the changes. If you want to check if the levels are working properly, go into the Sales menu, then Category 1, 2, and then 3, and then we choose the item we created. This is the item's original price. If you choose the retail price level and then select your item, you will get the retail pricing. If you choose the test price level, you will get the test pricing. If you choose the grow, you will get the grow price level. Go back to your item in the Products panel, and then go into S.K.U. After having registered the sizes and colors of our products, they will appear in this section. This is when we can generate each of our items S.K.U., so if we want size 23 with the color blue, we select them and click on Add S.K.U., and we have a generated code on the left. We can specify its quantity, and click on Add Stock. Now, each time we select the S.K.U., we get the item's quantity according to size and color.